for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Even though you're telling it in a different way. What can you identify, or do you think about actually how we can not just illustrate a story and get people to understand this is what was happening, but what part of it is actually evolving us as human beings emotionally? Because we can see how our technological stuff can evolve to computers and phones. How can we actually evolve as being human? Because we're still fighting. We're still teaching people, oh, this is how it is, and this is how it's going to be tomorrow again, and please don't do this.
It's because of the heart. That story is the most piercing story about two young people who are intoxicated with themselves and with each other, which is what every adult yearns for. It's a beautiful intoxication, and you want desperately to see where it will go, how it will grow, and it's slaughtered. And well, you know what we find? It's like with the Capulets. It's marvelous. You do these plays. I've done this play about 4 times. When we have the Capulets this year, a wonderful thing has happened, putting them where we put them. They have real problems as a couple, and it's a very patriarchal character, Capulet, the way he treats his daughter, the way the rules are, and. But we've made Lady Capulet, worked with her so that she fights back. And you can see her pain for a change instead of just this nice wine.
Yeah, but I think that's why the play survives, is that each generation, each society, I mean, Shakespeare's done everywhere. It's translated into so. And why does it survive? Because those plays do have the potential to evolve us, right? To affect the humanity that we have. And so what you get to bring as the actor is, well, because this is the 5th time I've done the play in a year, which is very strange and wonderful, but it's like this, it's a little confusing, but this time I decided for the first time it's her fault, it's my wife's fault. Because Capulet has a line, he says, the earth hath swallowed all my hopes but she. She's the hopeful lady of my earth, she's the hopeful heiress of my land.
He never got his son, poor booby.
Or all the other kids we had died. It's common. Yeah. Especially Shakespeare's time. So I've decided in this production, it's her fault. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with your womb? Step up. Right? I mean, that's why Henry had all those divorces. Right? He wanted a son. So that's added a whole tension between us. And there's a couple of times where I've... So that I think, hopefully, someone will go, oh, well, that you shouldn't do that. And also the way this patriarchal ownership, the fact that the father owns this kid. You're going to do what I tell you to do. And the kids in the audience, you can hear them go, whoa! Because he's very violent. Capulet's very violent with her. And the kids, and then I wonder, you were asking about, when you look at the audience, I wonder...
how many of them have that?
Do they go home at night and watch their dad get drunk and beat up their mom? Or mom get drunk and beat up their dad? And I don't know, and I can't, but we can enact the ritual of that and have them have insight that, oh, I'm not alone, this is something. So I think that's what these stories bring us. Right? I mean,
and then, of course, we're also dealing with the American education system, you know, so we have to be very careful about how we deal with subjects. We really do. For instance, we did To Kill a Mockingbird last year, and I only changed the novel and the play in one way. I put the Ku Klux Klan, I put on the hoods and everything. And when the kids watched it, there was literally a, right? And somehow one of the teachers said, you shouldn't have done that. And I was worried about it, and they wanted all the hoods, and of course our education staff said you can't do that anymore. And I was thinking, but why? It's important. That is what's so important, because it's not a picture, it's a feeling that's happening when that person walks by them.
And it's part of our history, and it's a part of our present.
Yeah.
I mean, so I just heard on NPR yesterday, there's a tribute to Paul Robeson, and when he first sang Old Man River, he left the N-word in the lyric, and he sang it for years, and then eventually he said to Hammerstein, dude, I should probably didn't say dude, in the 16 languages he spoke, and he changed it. And when he did it during the Spanish Civil War, he changed it to keep on fighting until we're dying. So the language can adapt and change. But I am a proponent of maintaining the racism and anti-Semitism and misogyny that's inherent in the text. I know that Mark Rylance and many other people far smarter and more successful and better than I think you shouldn't. But I think it's there. It's the history of the way we saw the world. And I think it's important for the kids to see that and go, well, that's a problem. Yes. Why is that a problem? And why is we're not doing that now? Is that too much?
But no, I guess that would be part of my question. That is telling a story historically as opposed to evolving it to our human condition now. And saying, no, we don't. Racism is not okay.
The cool thing is with this piece now, actually, afterwards, when we do have the question and answer, that format is available for the kids to ask these not PC appropriate questions about. We're talking about how in society we don't talk about these things. Some things this is how it's supposed to be, and this is how we're gonna do it, and thank you, don't do that, like you said. But now we actually have a format where these kids can talk. If they have a question about something, they can ask.